Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be going over how to make multiple conversation paths inside a voice flow. This is especially helpful for a business with either multiple parts or they just have different areas of interest that they're going to funnel customers into. So to get started, I have a basic setup here already, just a couple of text blocks, and I've already uploaded my knowledge base. So if you don't know how to do that, there's plenty of videos online, and my previous video also talks about that, which I'll link above. So from here, we can drag out a listen and either a choice or the buttons option. I prefer the buttons as it shows the user the different options that they can choose from. So when we're brought to this page, we can enter the button label here. I'm just going to copy these, which I had generated from ChatGPT to make me a fake company. And these are some of the areas that I came up with that this fake company might want customers to be funneled into. So I'm going to go through and enter the labels for all these buttons. So once I've done that, you'll notice that these all have these little dots that you can drag paths from. So for the product information, we might want something like the AI to give us a quick rundown of the products that this company offers. So for the question, we can put something like, tell the user about the products offered. And the instructions, something like, answer as if you are a sales assistant. And for these, we're actually going to turn off the not found, as if this is not working, we are going to either adjust the question and or the instructions until it does work. So this is not ever going to be published to a website without all of these being working. Yeah, we're going to do this same thing for the product info, the wholesale, and the about us. I'm going to do something a little bit different for the ask a question section, but I'm going to fast forward through some of this. All right, so for the ask a question, we're going to start with a text block to prompt the user to ask the question. So we might say something like, "Can I help you with?" We're going to capture their question and assign it to a variable. Then we're going to get the AI to answer the question. Quickly handle the not found. And that's going to be it for the ask a question. If you need more information on this, check out my previous video, or there's probably a lot of other videos about this. Pretty simple, just ask a question and get the answer. I'm going to leave all these open. You can kind of fill these in as you like, or however the company would like. But for now, I'm going to focus on these buttons that we had here. So right now, when you run it, you obviously get these two text messages like it shows here, and then you're faced with the buttons that we entered there. So you can obviously click on these and it will take you to these separate paths. However, what happens now, if you type something, then it will go to a fallback prompt. So I'll show you how that works. So we say something like selling a product. You see it goes to this fallback response where the AI is simply relying on this general prompt to give you a response. So this actually looked like it worked fairly well. However, this can be pretty risky, especially depending on what the customer is asking. You might get information that's not correct or just risky in the first place. So to fix this issue, we can go in and edit these buttons, and we can click something that click this that says add attach intent. So what this allows us to do, I already have some created, but I'm going to add another one to show you. You can title this, this is for the product information. What this allows us to do is add utterances. So we are basically trying to predict anything the customer might type in order to go down this certain path. So for the product information, we might type product info all lowercase, product info with a capital P, product information. Yeah, there's a lot of different variants you can try and add in here. The more the better, honestly. And once you're done coming up with these, you click create intent. I already have one called that. Nope. All right. So you see once you're done that, it pops up down here. So we can repeat that process for the other ones. Speed up through that since I've already done it. All right, so you can see it pops up through here, right under these. And something else we might want to add, if we scroll all the way down, you see this no match section, and then you can click the plus in the top right, and we can add a message. So if the user enters something that we did not type in any of these 4 sections, then they receive this message. So this message could look something like, please select one of the following options. So essentially it'll send this text to the user if it does not detect any of these that we entered before, and allow them to try to select one of the buttons or type something again. So we can run this, we'll train it and then run it. So you can see we're about to the same 4 buttons. If we type something random, instead of going to the fallback response, it gives us the message, please select one of the following. And if we type something like about us, one of the options that we gave it, you can see it detects that and takes us down this path. So that solves the issue of users being able to type anything they want and companies having to rely pretty heavily on this fallback response, which solves a lot of safety issues in these things. Something else with these buttons that might be pretty useful is the ability to assign these to variables. So let's say that a user comes through, you gather their name and email, and you want to decide, they decide that they want to go through and look at wholesale information. So it would be pretty helpful if you could capture that they looked at wholesale information, and then you can then leverage that in your marketing to target them more specifically. So to do this, we can go into this actions section, click the plus, and then click select variable. So we can create a new variable, call it something like intent. So when they select product information, we can assign the intent variable to have the value of, let's just say product info. Keep it simple. Did not work. Okay, so when you set the variables, you can create the variable like we just did. And then when you're setting the variable, since this is in JavaScript, you put it in parentheses like I did here. So now this variable called intention is set to product info because the user clicked on product info. So we can repeat this for the rest of the options here. I can go to set variable. We already created the variable, so we can click intention, enter this parentheses, and enter wholesale. All right, so as you can see, it comes out with these little block things on the side, and we do have to reconnect the lines again. But as you can probably imagine, this can be pretty useful, especially depending on what you're capturing here, what you're asking the user to select. Even just the wholesale example, it becomes a whole lot easier to target people looking for specifically for wholesale. So if you combine this with what I'll show in my next video is gathering the name and email, this can be a pretty powerful tool, especially when it comes to marketing and being able to divide your audience or your leads into pretty specific categories to best target their interest and pain points. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And yeah, have a good one.